Our third out of four candidate debates for today. This is featuring the Pinal County Sheriff. We have three candidates on the stage with us today. Introduce first Mr. Kai Morgan. Of course, he is the independent candidate. We have Sheriff Paul Babeu, the Republican candidate. And we have Mr. Kevin Taylor from Maricopa. He is the Democratic candidate. Mr. Michael Christian, and she'll get us started.
I think I'll start my left to right. So that would be Mr. Morgan with the first question. You all get the same question. That is, the first one is, do you believe the Sheriff's Office currently has sufficient resources to battle drug smuggling in this county?
Well, you never have sufficient resources to battle crime. Are there sufficient resources to handle what we have? I believe so. I believe we can always use more manpower, we can always use more equipment, we can always use more things to fight crime and continue to keep crime out of our neighborhoods and away from our good law-abiding people. I think right now, some of our equipment, some of our manpower, some of our money are being allocated incorrectly, and I think we could use better tactics, better equipment, better use of our money to fight it a little better than what we have with what we have. Until we can obtain more from the Board of Supervisors, and until we can get more from RICO money and those things, I think to reallocate them, to put more manpower where manpower is needed, and quit eliminating manpower for political reasons and other reasons, I think that would be the best way to go right now until we can obtain more. But certainly, you can always use more. Thank you.
Thank you. Sheriff, the question to you, do you believe that the office has sufficient resources to battle drug smuggling?
I'll take it out here. We do not have sufficient resources in order to battle, yet what we have done is worked with a number of partners. And a lot of people, if I've been criticized as some people who are misinformed, and shockingly so, somebody who has even worked for me in the Sheriff's Office does not understand the fact that we get millions of dollars, both from the state and the federal government in the form of grants. We have what's called Operation Stone Garden. $500,000 a year we get to fund deputies, not taking them away from their patrol resources from their 40 hours a week, but in addition to, they can work in the West Desert here in western Pinal County, and we work with countless other agencies. We had 21 law enforcement agencies that we partnered with, including Maricopa PD, including the U.S. Border Patrol and ICE, resulting in the largest drug bust in the history, not just of Pinal County, in Arizona. $2 to $3 billion drug bust. It's one of the largest narco busts in America. We arrested 76 members of the Sinaloa cartel. Are they from Pinal County? They're from Mexico, folks. So this tells you the size, the scope of this issue, and we've done everything we can to bring all that pressure to bear. Where did we get 2 helicopters? Governor Brewer, the state legislature, gave us $2 to $3 million. We just purchased an additional 70 AR-15s, not from the Board of Supervisors, but from criminal money, the very thing that some people are advocating we should do. So that's what we're going to do. We haven't done enough, but we're going to do even more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The question, Mr. Taylor, do you believe the Sheriff's Office currently has sufficient resources to battle drugs?
At this, am I on? Okay. At this time, I don't believe that the Sheriff's Department does. I think with all the crimes coming into Pinal County, the Sheriff's Department should be upgraded as far as the people that are coming across the border thinking that they can commit a crime here. So with that being said, I think if the Sheriff's Department is allocate what money they actually have, do a survey since the current sheriff been in office for the past 4 years, find out, well, we're receiving more crime in this area. Should we beat this area up? Should we go to the Board of Supervisors and ask for more money? I think that would be a good strategy part to find out where we're going, because we don't ever want to cut the Sheriff's Department off of having funds to do the job correctly, to let people know that when you come to Pinal County, it's going to pay serious consequences. So I do not want to cut the budget off for Pinal County to make Pinal County a stronger place to be. We have to have the funds and resources and a working relationship with the other police departments in the areas. We have to work closely with ICE. We have to work closely with the Border Patrol, and just beef up the SAP and just do what we need to do for Pinal County to make it a lot safer. Thank you very much.
I'll start the next question with you, Sheriff. Regardless of who becomes the county attorney, what should the relationship be between the county attorney's office and the sheriff's office?
I'm glad you asked that question. Well, just this week, and here's what matters and should matter to all of you. I don't care if you're a Democrat, Republican, or if you're a Libertarian. We had 6 deputies show up to talk about crimes that happened to them, not in their private life, on duty, in uniform. We had Deputy Heath Rankin, who broke his hand fighting an illegal drug smuggler carrying 400 pounds of marijuana, broke his hand in that fight in 2 different places, and the county attorney threatened to have him charged with assault. This is a guy who fled at over 100 miles an hour, smashed into a car, almost ran over a family, and Deputy Rankin had to fight this guy, and they want to charge my deputy. Jesus Lopez, another deputy, was in a shooting in Arizona City with a known violent felon, and they want to release this guy. Same thing. Talk to Taylor, same name as you, Deputy Taylor. One of my fine young deputies is in a fight, is punched multiple times, smashes into a coffee table, into an entertainment center. This same criminal punches 2 EMTs, and they let this guy go without charges. If you can punch a cop, shoot at a cop in our county, and that's Deputy Jesus Lopez, if they let him get away with this against police officers, why would they care about your families? This is my concern with the county attorney, because he has no idea. He's not a prosecutor. Lando Voiles, just to give you a sense, in 2010, he prosecuted 19 cases. The county attorney's office, all 44 attorneys, prosecuted 24.
Mr. Taylor, the question to you, regardless of who becomes the county attorney, what should the relationship be between that office and the sheriff's office?
Working together. You have to work together. And I think part of the issue is working with the county attorney's office. The officers, I think part of the reason for what I'm hearing today from Mr. Voiles and Mr. Walsh, that I don't think the deputies are up to speed in writing a report the way to make it stick when it goes to the judge. I think they need more training, probably in as far as the law enforcement. They have to write their report strong, so when it goes to the county prosecutor, his staff, that all the facts are there. There should be no reason why a deputy or a police officer be getting beat up by somebody who's going to go to jail. That's unacceptable. In a case like that, I haven't had access to the report, but I don't know for sure, but I think if an officer got beat up, then as being the sheriff of Pinal County, I would go back to talk to this officer over here and find out, why did you let this man go? There's something that we could have done better. So you have to bring this stuff together to make it work, and our job is this man and that man, they got to put it together to bring it all together. So when you come to Pinal County, you want to think about putting your fist up to a cop, you're done. You're done. You're definitely going to jail, and you're going to spend some time there. And when you go to the sheriff's department, you're not going to be sitting up watching no TV and lifting weights. Thank you.
So I have a question to you. Regardless of who becomes the county attorney, what should the relationship be?
Firstly, I'd like 30 seconds to rebut that first question that I was slammed upon, if that's possible. I wasn't given the opportunity to rebut that. If we don't have enough resources and we don't have enough money and equipment to fight the crime, so to speak, then why does the sheriff's office currently have 14 at-will and appointed positions that cost the taxpayers $1.3 million a year? 7 or 8 of those positions add absolutely no value to law enforcement whatsoever. That's my comment about if we don't have it, we should utilize those resources better. Then when we go to the Board of Supervisors, they see that we're doing what we can, then they're more willing to give us the resources that we actually need. Now to the next question.
All right, how does the sheriff's office and the county attorney's office, how should they work together?
You have to work together. Those are the two main departments that are going to get the criminals off the streets and going to get fairness to everyone, fairness for the child support people, the young people who need their child support coming in that aren't getting it, fairness to you people who want to go out in your neighborhoods and enjoy your neighborhood, enjoy places in your county that can't because you're afraid of criminal trafficking. I can tell you this, I've worked with the county attorney's office with Roy Mendoza all the way through Mr. Walsh. And I've put many, many cases in my 30 years of being a law enforcement officer here in Pinal County in front of the county attorney's office. If I got a response back from them saying they could not prosecute, I was on the phone. I was on the phone right away with them, with Mr. Walsh or one of his deputy attorneys, or Mr. Mendoza, one of his deputy attorneys, whoever was in there, Carter Olson, one of his deputy attorneys. I was on the phone to them saying, wait, why? Why can you not do this? This is an important thing. This is a criminal. We need to keep him off the streets. Then I would get response back from that prosecutor saying, well, Ty, in order to do this, we need this, 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 and this. Bam. I was on the streets. I was doing what they needed, this, 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 and this. Sometimes I thought, you guys are wanting a silver platter with a red bow on it. But by golly, if I wanted that person prosecuted, I did what it took as a police officer that wanted to keep your county safe.
Well, I think there's two rebuttals here. First, this misinformed statement about all these at-will employees. Who are these people? The chief deputy. The chief deputy of 700 full-time employees and an at-will person. My chief of the jail. The 3 captains in the jail who run operations, who run security. My deputy chief. The dispatch communications director. Is that a non-essential position? We hired 2 grant administrators. Before I was elected sheriff, we didn't even have one. Now we have $7 million a year, folks, that we get with grants that are not local taxpayer dollars that we bring in order to purchase equipment and technology. That's to that point. The other criticism is my deputies do not know how to write reports well. Hold the phone here. These are what's called prima facie cases, that on the surface, all the evidence is articulated in this report that meet the criteria, the threshold, not just a charge. There was a bill. There was an indictment. The county attorneys themselves has said there's enough to go to trial. These are not like cases that, hey, golly gee, we hope there's enough there with a red bow on. These are cases that should have been charged. 2 of every 3, there were 5,000 cases, 2 of every 3 of them have been dismissed or got probation. Unacceptable.
Thank you. We will go to the third question. I'll start with Mr. Taylor. What things would you eliminate from the Pinal County Sheriff's Office budget to make the office more efficient?
May I say one thing before we get started? I didn't say that the deputies didn't know how to write a report. I think that everybody should need to be schooled to bring the reports up to date, so when they go to the prosecutor's office, they got the facts. That was what I said. That's what I meant. So, moving forward, question again, please.
What things could you eliminate from the sheriff's office budget to make the office more efficient?
What things could I eliminate? Well, I don't know, because I'm not in the office. Only this man has the answer to those questions. But as you go into the office to find out who's in the office and why they're in the office and make everybody justify for the job. There's a number of comments being made about at-will employees. Do we need those at-will employees, or do we need to add more? I don't know, but I'm going to find out come January. Okay? There's just a lot of things that are going on in the Sheriff's Department that we just don't have access to for one reason or another. I can sit here and speculate and tell you a lie, but I'm not going to do that because I don't have the answer to that. So what's ever being done in the Sheriff's Department, I'm sure Sheriff Babeu has a tight grip on it to find out that the people who have them, I'm sure he can justify why those people are there. And if they can't justify them whenever the new sheriff is, then we'll take a look at it to see if we need those positions in the Sheriff's Department to see if that's waste or these people here just to be here. But the main thing is if they can't justify the job or position, they don't need to be there, and the taxpayer of Pinal County does not need does not need to be paying for those positions that are non-essential to what's going on in the department. You take those hours or people and you move them to some place where they can be utilized much more efficient. Thank you.
Thank you. The question goes to Mr. Morgan. What things could you eliminate from the sheriff's budget to make the office more efficient?
Well, I suggest, I was going to rebut that, but I can do it right now. I suggest that you all do as I did and request a copy of the at-will and appointed positions within the sheriff's office right now. There are 7, I think maybe 8, I don't have it here in front of me,